All right, so I got the stock throttle body off. We'll compare it to the new one from Solar Performance. Just really beautiful work here. First thing you see is the shaft here on the front of the stock one has been replaced. It's gone now. So imagine what that's doing is this opens up and the air starts to flow across through that throttle body. That shaft becomes a big speed hump, slowing down the airflow and causing turbulence. Whereas on the Solar modified one, that's a nice smooth flow across the plate. Also, if you look at the leading edge of the butterfly, this one is just a blunt surface. This one has a nice tapered surface to help the air cut across there. I've kind of marked this with a magic marker so you can see all this upper part here, a big hump there that the air has to hit on the stock one, and on the Solar that has been really reduced down, nice and smooth with some inlet ports here at idle. And also same at the bottom, there's a big hump here on the stock one. That's been tapered down nice and smooth on the one from Solar. So should be a great improvement for getting airflow through the throttle body at off idle up to 50% or maybe just a little more. Of course, since this is flowing smoother, we've lost this throttle shaft here. Even at full throttle, there'll be some improvement, but nothing like it will be from below, say, 50% or so. All right, let's move on to finish the installation. Well, I've got the new throttle body installed, everything buttoned up, and battery cable back on. How long did it take me? How hard was it? Well, I think they said it'd take about within 15 minutes. How many times have we heard, oh yeah, easy installation, 15 minutes, and it turns out to be an hour and a half? Well, believe it or not, it took me 17 minutes, and that included me taking a break to retrieve my socket and extension out of the abyss that I dropped. So yeah, it can be done in under 15 minutes, no doubt. Probably the easiest modification I've ever done. So all I'll do here is clean this up. I'll send the stock one back for my core refund. Save a little money there, but everything's buttoned up, and now we go through a little process of a relearn system. We start it up, let it idle for a minute, shut off a few seconds, repeat that. That's all in the instructions. And that helps to recalibrate the system and learn what else is going on. So I'll let you know how it goes. Well, hello everyone. I finished up the testing of the throttle body from Solar Performance. I went through and did the relearning curve, which is very simple. You start the engine up, let it idle for 3 minutes, shut it off for 1 minute, then repeat it. And then you do some normal driving. You get it up above 44 miles an hour, then let it ease back down to a stop and idle for a moment. Similar you would be doing in normal driving if you pull up to a traffic light. And you do that 4 times, and then you'll stop, at your convenience and let it sit. Cool down period, then you repeat that again, I think 4 or 5 times over the next 50 to 100 miles, and it is completely relearned then. Although after the first series of the starts and stops, it seemed to have already relearned the airflow curve. So didn't have any problems, no check engine lights or anything like that. Come on. What did I think about it? Definitely it makes an improvement in the throttle response in that just off idle up to the 50 to 60%. The sweet spot's probably the most benefit in around the 25% to 45% throttle range, which if you think about it, that's where we spend about 99% of our time anyway. So it's perfect for a normal driving truck. Is it worth the money? Yeah, I'd say it is. I mean, think about it. You're buying something that, depending on which option you choose, it's in the $300, $400 range. And so I think it's a good bang for the buck. Would I recommend it to my friends? Absolutely, I would. I think it's very beneficial. I think you can get some fuel economy savings on it just by design, although that's not advertised as such, and I can see why not, because it's hard to prove that. But I can see at normal driving, you would get some benefit from extra mile per gallon. I did actually read a review from one of the Corvette guys, and he was claiming, another 1 to 2 miles per gallon increase. So maybe that's to be proven, but I definitely think it's doable. I can feel the response, coming off the throttle, and it easy, quarter throttle response. It picks up easier. I think make the drivability a little better. So I think it's a very good product. Obviously, by design, I'm very impressed with it. Great engineering. The customer service is fantastic. So I definitely give it a thumbs up. I'd say don't hesitate. Go ahead and get one. I think you'll be pleased. It works on a stock truck, no problem. If you have already installed the aftermarket air cleaner, cold air intake, and an aftermarket exhaust that's freed up the airflow in and out, it's going to be an even bigger plus. Because if you think about it, if you reduce the air restriction coming in and the air restriction going out, then your throttle body starts to become more of the bottleneck. So this part here removes that bottleneck even more. So definitely go for it. Don't hesitate. Is it going to wow you? You're not going to say, oh, I just put a supercharger on my truck. Wow, it's incredible. No, it's not that. Be modest about it. The bang for the buck is there for what you're paying for it. You're going to get just that decent amount of improvement. So yeah, I'm very pleased with it. Now for the wow factor. I also bought their optional controller for the throttle body. And I had never bought one before. I really never looked into it to see the purpose. I mean, I know what they do. If everybody's familiar with them, you give the throttle 20% accelerator pedal, and then the controller tells it how much to open the throttle body. And so like the old days of a carburetor, you had a cable from the gas pedal to the carburetor, and you push the throttle down 10%, the throttle opened to 10%. You push the throttle 50%, and your carburetor opened 50%. But nowadays, with electronic fuel injections and throttle bodies, that's not the case. It's no longer cable controlled, it's fly-by-wire. So the computer tells it how much to open when you get the throttle. And by design, the manufacturers put a lot of retard in the response from the throttle pedal to the actual throttle opening. I guess to make it easier driving, smoother operating, things like that. And that's what I've learned is from researching this controller, is that the actual algorithm from the factory has the throttle response greatly retarded. For example, if you give the pedal 20% opening, it may only open the throttle 10%, and it do it slowly. And so same as you give it 40%, the throttle only open 30% and slowly, and then that's gradually comes more in line as you get more full throttle. So some really neat features about Solar's controller is it starts out, you can do it the factory setting, so everything's just stock. Then you can go up to the next level. You've got 10 modes of change in that stock form. And then you can go to their next level, which is called comfort level. And there you've got 10 different settings. So it gives a little quicker throttle response in the comfort setting. Then you got another setting, which is called sport. And you've got 10 settings there. And what I've learned is that from talking with people, at Sport 5, that becomes your most linear setting. So 20% throttle on the gas pedal gives you 20% throttle on the throttle body. And 40% on the pedal gives you 40% on the throttle body, and so on. And that is a wow factor. I mean, amazing. When I first installed it, I put it in, I did a couple of runs in the comfort mode, and I could tell it was a little better. I felt really good. I was very, very happy with that. Then I went to sport and started moving up in the sport range, and I'm at Sport 5, and I thought, whoa, no, this is way too touchy. I mean, just a little bit of pedal goes a long way. And I thought, that's probably going way too much for me. And I drove it for a little while, and next thing you know, I thought, wow, this is pretty fun. And I bumped it up to like Sport 8, and wow, this is really fun, but maybe too much. And then I went to ludicrous mode. Ludicrous mode, really? Yeah. And next thing I know, I'm in ludicrous 5, and I'm in ludicrous 8, and like, now, wow, this is amazingly fun. So it's kind of addicting to play with it. It makes the truck really fun to drive. I probably will settle, for normal driving in that sport range in the 5 to 8, I think. But it's going to be a matter of personal choice, whatever you like. What really makes their controller special, I think, is it gives you a lot of options from the stock level to comfort to sport to ludicrous and even drag race mode, where it's just like full throttle as soon as you touch it. They also have an economy mode. So if you're maybe you're taking a trip and you want to just maximize your fuel economy, it retards the throttle response even more than factory. And they have a valet mode. So if you want to, someone's going to drive your vehicle and you don't want to be letting them be able to have full throttle and want to go slow, you can put in valet mode, and that does that. And the thing about this truck, or this controller, it works on all your new models, the 22 plus and above, with the refresh trucks that have the Global B platform. So it's just a plug and play. Actually, the installation took me, it's like a minute. It's super easy. Just above your gas pedal, there's a little module there. You unplug and then plug in their module, and that's it. You can mount their little control pad display wherever you want. I mounted mine right above the gas pedal on the dash so I can reach it. But a good option is it comes Bluetooth controlled. Also, it's option. So on your phone, you can change all the settings on the fly while you're driving. You can change it. And so I really like that feature. Probably the best controller on the market, I think. So 2 thumbs up on it. I think the package together, their throttle body and their controller, is an amazing deal. The installation is easy. The bang for the buck is awesome. And the response is very good. I think you'll be pleased with it. So I say don't hesitate. I'll give it thumbs up. Go for it. Hope you enjoy.